ability. It's very difficult to diet. And the same thing is like a person wants to stop smoking, right? They are addicted to smoking. And it's not so hard to stop 1, 2, 3 days. But most people will relapse after 2 or 3 days. The same thing with diets and food. For once, these changes that occur, these conditioned responses, number one, are long-lasting. So you are going to be constantly inhibiting this prepotent need to actually want to eat. Now, imagine your day 24 hours. And I sort of imagine my day 24 hours. In the morning, I'm go run, exercise. I'm all wired up, and so I have perfect control. Nothing bad has happened to me. But then I basically lose my key, and I have to make this huge line, and then the secretary insults me, and I have to say, no, I'm not going to get. So you start to get frustrated and frustrated and frustrated and angry and angry. And your ability to then regulate this urge to eat the food starts to be undermined. So as we get frustrated, as we get stressed, our ability to exert control gets diminished. So you go in a diet, and this is one of the reasons. It's not the only reason, and I'll come back to it in a second. The ability to exert control, to control our emotions and our behaviors, gets eroded when we're stressed, when we're tired, or actually when we're food deprived. And that's why people become irritable. This is actually, it's a response where your brain, your body is sensing that you are in a state of deprivation. And under a state of deprivation, your mental state changes to go and want to do the behavior that will get you out of that state. So you have, again, that balance of an intense drive to get out of that very unpleasant state. And on the other one, your cognition says, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. And there is a point that you lose this battle. And so you give in, you get a stressor comes up, the flight has been canceled, I've been dealing with all of this, I had a bad day, and my flight, on top of everything, gets canceled. And at that moment, you lose the ability to control. So that's one of the things. And it's exactly the same thing with drugs or with smoking behavior. A person is doing fine, and all of a sudden their spouse says, I want a divorce. And they have been stopped smoking, and then they relapse. Something very, very stressful. They lose that ability. There are other things that are being shown by animal studies that may also be very, very provocative. And again, this is at the research level in animals. It hasn't been shown in humans. But in my view, the moment that I start to see results like that in animals, I want to question, is this happening in humans? There's been a series of studies now by Dr. Hubble for many years. And when I read this, I said, wow, where he takes rats and he gives them a diet high in sugar. Well, we all eat in this society a lot of sugar. Well, he takes these little rats and gives them high amounts of sugar. And then he takes these animals and gives them a drug that we call an opiate antagonist. Now, what is an opiate antagonist? An opiate antagonist is a medication that when you give to a rat, only when you give it to a rat that has been repeatedly exposed to opiates, like heroin, morphine, OxyContin, repeated exposure, only when it's repeated, you gave that, you trigger a withdrawal, like a heroin withdrawal. The animal's teeth shatters, it gets to shake, and it's very, very unpleasant for the animal. When he gives this opiate antagonist into an animal that has been exposed to a high content of sugar, he triggers an opiate withdrawal. This is incredibly unpleasant. Now, one of the things that we haven't studied in humans is, could there be something similar? That there is a withdrawal, just like it's been shown in animals, occurring when a person stops in a diet, and then they basically are cutting the intake of sugar, which liberates endogenous opiates. So no longer those endogenous opiates are being liberated, and you are creating a mild state of withdrawal. That is not, of course, so powerful that you recognize it, but that may be creating this state of dysphoria and discomfort. This is sort of actually, which is what happens when you put someone on withdrawal, mild withdrawal from opiates. It's not like you're going to start shaking, but there's a sense of discomfort. It's just you're not feeling well under your skin. You're like that. And it's very unpleasant. And so the extent to which a similar process, for example, may be happening is something that should be investigated. That could also, if proven correct, help to understand why it's so very difficult to go into a diet. And will also, if it's, again, documented in humans, because this is documented in animals, could provide strategies to help persons so that they don't have this very disagreeable state of discomfort.